Hello everybody, it's Brian for GadgetUnit.com, and today I'll be showing you my complete iPhone 5 setup. This includes my accessories, my installed Jailbreak tweaks, as well as my installed App Store apps. First, I'll go ahead and show you my accessories. So the case I'm using is the ChoiceCase.com Frostback. This costs $6.50, so it's cheap, which is a plus to me because cases don't need to be expensive. I like it because it has a frosted back to it. You can still see through it to the back of your iPhone. It's frosted, it's not glossy, obviously, so it's not going to be too bad in terms of fingerprints or scratches, which is always a plus. The band, though, is TPU. It's glossy, so that helps with grip quite a bit, although it does get some smudges and fingerprints and some very little scratching from here and there, so it's not too bad. I really do like this case. I've been rocking the black one for the majority of the time, but I've recently switched to the green one. And yes, of course, ChoiceCase.com is my website. I'm not just using the ChoiceCase case just to promote it or anything, but really, I really do like this case quite a bit. The screen protector is just an average anti-glare screen protector that you could get on the cheap from eBay, so there's nothing to really talk about there. And now let's move on to the software. Here is my lock screen. There's pretty much nothing going on that's out of the ordinary until I pull down on the status bar, which reveals Intelliscreenx. This allows you to better organize your notification center. It also gives you access to your Twitter timeline or an RSS feed or your email listings or some other things that you could do with it as well. This is called Intelliscreenx, by the way. For my top shelf, I have the Intelliscreenx quick settings. So this gives you some basic toggles that you can use for different things. There's also a button in the lower right which allows you to compose a new iMessage, SMS message, or multimedia message from anywhere you are. This feature is called Messages Plus. That's also available as its own paid standalone package inside of Cydia. And thanks to Messages Plus, you can quickly reply to messages from any app that you're in. Unlocking the phone. First, let's go ahead and take a look at my status bar. You can see that I do not have the carrier name. I've also removed the little battery icon to the right of the percentage, and this allows me to give the status bar some extra room for the regular notification icons that you would come to expect. You can see that I do have one for mail. There's also one for new text messages, and there's also one that indicates I'm on silent mode. All of these come with Intelliscreenx. Although the status bar tweaks for the carrier and the battery, those were done with Springtomize 2. With the rest of my springboard, I have 5 columns and 5 icons in my dock. All icons were shrunk a little bit, so I think the dock icons went from 100% to 95%. I think the regular springboard icons are 70%. I'll have to check, but regardless, all of these are done with Springtomize 2 as well. If I go to my multitasking tray, you can see that we already have the red X on top of it, so we could quickly close out of an application without having to tap and hold on it first for that button to come up. That's also done through Springtomize 2. If we go over to my Jailbreak folder, I have Cydia, which everybody has. I also have Pandora Downloader. This allows you to download songs that Pandora streams to save them locally to your device as a playable MP3 file. So I guess there's some legal questions surrounding this, but mainly I use it not to steal songs. I use it to archive songs that have showed up on Pandora so I could play back them on my device later on. Then I could go to my computer, iTunes, buy the song if I like it. Before, I would actually just take a screenshot of the app that it was in so I could go to the screenshot later. Sometimes I would actually accidentally delete the screenshot before I would take a look at it. So thanks to Pandora Downloader, I could just save the MP3 to this, and I'll be able to look it up later on. I also have iFile, which is used for browsing your file system of your device. You could also manipulate files, open them, edit them, do whatever you want. Here we have an icon for Intelliscreenx. This app would typically be used for registration, but since it's already registered, it goes straight to the Intelliscreenx settings inside of the stock settings app. Since we're in settings, let me go ahead and show you some of my other tweaks that I have installed. We have Activator, which allows you to perform different gestures on your device to take care of different actions. So I have a number of different ones set up that I use quite often. So to activate my app switcher, I use 4-finger spread, as you see there. I also use 4-finger pinch to go to the home button. so it seems to work quite well. Yes, I know there's Zephyr, which gives you iPad-like multitasking gestures, but Activator is free, and I don't have to use any more resources because Zephyr would be another mobile substrate extension on top of Activator. If I want to lock my device, I just do 3-finger spread and it locks my device instantly, which is always nice. I use that one quite a bit. Next up, I have the one for Messages Plus. So when I'm not at my lock screen, it's a 3-finger tap to bring up the Compose interface from Messages Plus. If I'm at my lock screen though, you can't use the 3-finger gesture there, so I just double tap on my status bar to bring that up. What other ones do I have? I think I have one for music. Yeah, so when I am playing back a song and I'm at my lock screen and I want to skip to the next track, all I have to do is double tap on the clock and it goes to the next song. So this is good if I am driving and of course you aren't really supposed to do that, but sometimes I want to move ahead to the next song. I don't have to unlock my device or double press the home button and hunt for the next song button. I could just double tap my clock area and it goes to the next song. So it's very convenient to have. Next, I have Browser Changer, which allows you to change your default web browser that you want links to open with. You can also make Google Maps your default Maps app. You can see that I am using Chrome as my default browser. One thing I should have mentioned earlier is that I've hidden a lot of the stock apps. So I don't have Safari, I don't have the stock Maps app, I don't have Reminders, Passbook, Newsstand, or any of those other ones that I do not use. Looks like we have an app update today. Let me go ahead and check out what that is. eBay updates. Anyway, back to settings. I also have Full Force for iPhone, which allows you to take non-iPhone 5 optimized apps, such as Speed Test, and it fills up your screen as if it were a native iPhone 5 app. For the game of life in particular, it works perfectly. It's like the game should already be working on the iPhone 5, which makes me wonder why they don't just put out an update for it. But anyway, next we have Local IAP Store. This allows you to get cracked in-app purchases. So, disclaimer, the only thing I'm using this for is for Real Racing 3. I, as with everybody else, do not agree with their particular model for Real Racing 3. They moved to a freemium model, so if you want to unlock something or progress through the game, pretty much you have to use real money to spend on coins and money, and that just takes away from the entire experience. So thanks to their weird methods of doing things now, Local IAP Store takes the crap out of Real Racing 3 by giving you some money and some other stuff quickly, so you don't have to worry about having to wait hours for your car to repair or to upgrade itself or to buy a new car. It's really stupid what they're doing. They're just really making themselves look bad, and it's their own fault that people have to use things like this. Anyway, Nitrous allows you to extend Apple's Nitro JavaScript engine from, instead of just mobile Safari, to pretty much every other application that uses the web view to go to a web page. So it greatly speeds up web page loading in pretty much every single application. And of course, here we have Springtomize 2, which allows you to make a number of different customizations to your device quickly and easily. And that is pretty much it in terms of my jailbreak tweaks. Now let's go ahead and take a look at all of the App Store apps that I currently have installed. In my games folder, I have Carmageddon, which I've pretty much completed, so I don't play that too much. I have Crazy Taxi. I don't play games too often on my device. Typically, it's fun run in between classes or waiting at the doctor's office. And Crazy Taxi is one of those games where you have to keep going. If you have to pause the game, it just sort of takes away from everything, and it's just a little weird. Next, we have Fun Run, which I did a dedicated video about. Now we have the Game of Life, which is based off of the classic board game. Next up, we have Real Racing 3, which I already mentioned earlier. Next, we have Temple Run 2, which of course is that endless free-running game that everybody knows about. In my social folder, I have the Facebook app, which like I said before, I don't care about Facebook at all because of their nasty-looking interface on both their desktop and their mobile devices. Next, I have Foursquare, which I use for checking into places, for pretty much to tweet out where I am and to keep track of where I go. Next, I have Instagram. That's self-explanatory. Next, I have Push, which is used for getting notifications for different Twitter lists. At least that's what I use it for. You could use it for different things, but I have a Twitter list on Twitter called Tech, and I have a bunch of tech websites that are put into that, like CNET News, Engadget, The Verge. And as soon as they tweet out a new post, I get a message telling me about it. So that's what Push does. Next up, we have Skype for iPhone. Don't use that too much, but if somebody needs to message me something on Skype, then I just open this up and start using it. Next up, we have Tweetbot, which is my preferred Twitter client. That is the Twitter client that I use. Lastly, in my others folder, I have the eBay mobile application, LogMeIn Ignition, which is used for remotely connecting to my computers, the NASCAR mobile app, the Newegg mobile app, Pandora. I don't really use Pandora very often, so that's the end of Pandora. I have the NASCAR Race View app, Shazam, which I don't use very much either. I have the Sling Player app for viewing my Slingbox 500, the Speed Test app, as well as the What's On TV Guide app. And that concludes my entire tour of my iPhone 5. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback about this or anything else, feel free to leave those down below in the comments area. But that is it with this video. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll talk to you all very soon.